I don't know if most of you guys have probably seen this thing. This is this Hubble and Chandra movie of M1. Everybody seen this? It's a time-lapse image at the core. This is Hubble, and this is Chandra, the X-ray space telescope. And so this is the core. This is a neutron star right here in the middle of M1. And so they did a time-lapse image of this, and of course that spinning neutron star is causing these shock waves to emanate from the region of the pulsar, and there's these jets coming out along the axis of the rotating pulsar. And so it's taken them a long time to assemble these images of it. It's really a really beautiful thing.
Is that yours?
No, this is Hubble. This is a Hubble Space Telescope.
How long did they take? How long did it take? I mean,
these were several months to a year long or something like that. But it's just an amazing picture. I just have always admired it.
Okay, now so where the heck would you put?
So I wanted
to
well, I wanted to see if I could get some hint of imaging that. So I've been trying. So what I've been doing is every 6 months for the last 2.5 years, I've been imaging M1. And so I now have 2 years of this data. And so I put them together into a little animation. And here's what I got. It's really nasty because it's TBS and a cheap scope. Let's try this one. Oh, the kit's not going to work. That's terrible. Oh, of course, because this is on a. Well, that's too bad. Open it in your browser. Open in the browser. What am I doing? Remember, this is on my Windows partition. So. Artist. Article. Let's try that. What do you think? Hey, you're decent. Hey, you're decent. Is it working? Yeah. So if you I mean, it's nasty work. But if you look right there's the pulsar. Right there.
Oh, you can see what it is.
And there's where one of the sprites are, right there. And if you look around here, that little echo right there is moving, and it's wiggling. And so this has taken 2.5 years to see this.
Well, that's wow.
But I think you can see it has that movement. So anyway, I'm getting better at it, the images are getting better. It's hard to process for them because my first image is really crappy and the rest of them are okay. But I want to keep going and see if this keeps.
That is amazing.
Why aren't the red moving out?
They are.
Yeah, they're supposed to move, but I don't think they move that fast. It's this.
Clearly.
It's just these shock waves that are.
Shock is moving at extremely high speed.
Right. Okay, so there's that.
You really raised the bar now. We're struggling just to get.
We're just getting started.
You're getting movies.
I wanted to show you that you don't have to have a fancy scope and you don't have to have the equipment at all. You can just take a camera on a tripod and tell the camera to put your shutter release cable and tell it to take a picture at sunset. And you take a snap every 30 seconds and you tell it to keep doing that all night. And you can string that together and make a movie of all night. So this movie goes all night long. This is from sunset to sunrise on a 3/4 moon or last quarter of the night. So you see the moon come up here like that. Things will change. You can see it kind of fair.
Every 30 seconds?
Every 30 seconds. One shot every 30 seconds.
Where's the street?
Sorry?
Where's the street? Is that not?
Where's the what?
The streets are probably airplanes flying by.
Yeah, those are airplanes. This was in Baja, Mexico, looking north, so you're seeing some traffic in the U.S.
Oh, that's beautiful.
How much memory did it take to store all that?
Sorry?
How much memory did it take to store all that?
Well, I didn't store these as RAWs. I stored them probably as medium-sized JPEGs. I had 2,000 or 3,000 pictures by mine.
They'll have car frames in that. That's impressive. What
So
did
you
you
use
use?
equipment, you know, you just set your tripod out there. And it's very cool.
What did you use for software to assemble those?
I automatically resized and stretched the images in a script in Photoshop and output little smaller images, and then I came in with Adobe Premiere and just swooped up all the images and told it to make a movie out of it. It was quite easy at that point, because you just hand a Premiere all these frames and you say make movie, and it's all that. Okay, so anyway, so let's process an image. Did you guys anybody produce
No, no, we don't.
So let's look at this is kind of a medium. This is an image that I don't. I'm going to decide how I'm going to do this now, because I was going to come here and start processing this images and using Images Plus, which is where I usually stretch the image. And then I was going to continue with Photoshop. But since I'm now running a Mac, I don't have Images Plus. Images Plus is not going to work for me. So I'm going to have to do everything in Photoshop here. So part of what I'm going to tell you is everything on the fly. Now, generally, what I do, so here is an image of NGC 7331, which is the yearly group. And it's been stacked, but nothing else has been done. And so the biggest problem that I have, and maybe most of you won't have it, is that I've got this modified DSLR, which makes the images way too red. And they're too red because it is not properly color balanced anymore. And so what most people would tend to do is right away, okay, let's see what it looks like. And so you go to some kind of stretching mode. Now, normally what I do is I start in Images Plus, and I'll use the stretching tools in there and try to go as far as I can, and then I switch over to Photoshop.
Digital development, what we're talking about?
Digital development processing is the default way. It's probably the best way to stretch over there. And I think I agree with Jeff Lommelhofer about this. About maybe 50% of the time, I find that is the best way. I get my best stretch using Images Plus. But then it'll surprise me. I can't even predict. Sometimes it just doesn't look as good as doing it in Photoshop. So you kind of have to try it both ways and see which way works best. Tonight we're going to be using Photoshop. So what you want to do is just come over and grab your levels and just see what you got. And okay, there's the deer lip. Looks pretty nasty. Very easy to blow out the core. It's very easy to see problems with nerve shadows and things like that. And of course, it's not color corrected. And for a long time, I would try to do some stretching, and then so that I could see what I've got, and then I would try to color correct, and then move on. And I decided that's the wrong way to do it, because you lose a lot of information when you stretch. And so I think the best way to do it is the hardest way to do it, which is to color correct the image before you stretch it, and then stretch it. And that creates a problem, because how do you know when you color corrected an image properly when you can't see it? And so here's the way I do it.
Are you in RGB now or in lab?
I am in RGB.
Okay.
So this is Jerry Rodriguez tipped me off on a variation of how to do this. The right way to do this is to go to your star map and find a star that is a G2 star, because my camera has been, that's white to us. So you should find a star and make that star white, and then your image should be color corrected. But I'm too lazy, and I don't know where a G2 star is, so I just kind of guess. and I'll find a star that's kind of medium looking, and I'll try to make that white, and that's the way I do it. And it should be an unsaturated star, because remember, this star is saturated, and it's white. And it's white because it's saturated, because it saturated the red level, and then saturated the blue level, and then saturated the green level, and hence became white.